program that we're speaking about today is called IMAGE, Instrumental Music Achieves Greater Education. It's a program that's being offered for students in my school as an opportunity to participate in the instrumental music program. It was incepted through the Woodbridge Township Education Foundation.
The Woodbridge Township Education Foundation supports initiatives through the Woodbridge Township School District. That includes various fundings through special events, grants, and other sources of income.
Well, the program is from the WTEF, the Woodbridge Township Educational Foundation, and Robin Terry is the grant writer. And the program itself would hopefully put in effect the chance for students who are economically disadvantaged the opportunity to play an instrument rather than rent, and a lot of the people can't afford the monthly rental fees. And it would put them on a level playing field, basically, with the other kids that can afford the rentals.
Having done some research and realizing the relationship between instrumental music education and academics, that there is a correlation that helps the brain capacity and learning and expanding in science and math, I felt that there were a lot of children in the school district that were not able to take advantage of that because they could not afford to rent or purchase musical instruments. And I know my children have excelled in the school district. They were both A students throughout their time here, and I just think that having the musical education has helped to bring them to that point.
Music adds a different dimension to the person. For some people, it's a missing link that will enable them to feel a part of something, a sense of belonging. Likewise, music's important in the whole academic world. Children develop skills in instrumental music and in vocal music that enable them to become better functioning members of society. They learn how to work with groups of people, how to take leadership roles, develop a sense of responsibility, a sense of respect for others.
Fundraising is one of the biggest challenges these days because contributions to the charitable dollar are just getting tighter and tighter. We're fortunate here to have Robin Terry, who does a lot of the background work in terms of writing the grants. You know, there's an art to writing grants. Not only do you have to be very good at writing, but you have to write with passion. And if you write with passion and you believe in what you're doing, success always seems to come.
Steve Dillon has been a big part of this program, having dealt with him over the years with my own children, having their instruments fixed there. When this idea came about for the program, I also asked him if he would help us out with it, if we were to get any instruments donated, which was the first step of this program. Before we went out for funding, we reached out to the community, asking people to clean out their attics, give us any instruments that they weren't using anymore, and Steve was a big part of us getting those instruments repaired and out into the schools.
Robin called me about 1.5 years ago, asking if I would be interested in helping with promoting music in Woodbridge Township, helping to, repair instruments that she might get in and that she might need assistance with. And we said, sure, we'd be willing to help. We love to help the community, so I said, bring us on board. When an instrument comes in, depending if it's a woodwind or a brass instrument, the woodwinds are much more complicated than the brass, because brass, generally the parts are pretty durable. The woodwinds, you have parts that can deteriorate very quickly, the pads. So the brass comes in, it gets looked over, it gets oiled, it gets cleaned out. Sometimes a new case is added, a new mouthpiece is added, some oil and whatnot. A woodwind is a little bit more complicated. What happens with a woodwind, the instrument has to be looked at, a little more finer look at it because of the pads and whatnot. And sometimes we have to replace pads, sometimes we have to replace all the pads and corks on a woodwind. So it's a little bit more time consuming. And then of course, if a new mouthpiece is needed, we do it, or if a new case is needed, that is added too.
It's a matter of just, searching out who would fit the criteria of our program and that we fit the criteria of their program as far as for funding. I've sent out about 35 to 40 different applications.
Well, we received a letter from the grant writer from the School of Woodbridge, and we decided to take on it. We do work in the community, so we decided to grant her a decision. The program is important because it's involving the education of the children.
I get the satisfaction of knowing that I'm I'm making a difference in our school district. Even if it only affects a small percentage of our students, the children who are involved with this program hopefully will learn and grow like my own children did through the music program in the township. And I'm just hoping that they stay with it and they continue with their music program because it affects every aspect of their life, not only academically but socially, and it just helps to build self-esteem and makes them better people as they get older.
If you play an instrument, we could just all get together, sit down. We may not speak the same language, but we play the same language. It's a wonderful way of bringing people together.